What is going on YouTube? EDM Adam here. I had to pull out the hoodie for this one. Now, I was skeptical on whether or not I wanted to cover this collab project. Let's be honest, it's not your favorite, but it's not interesting either. There are a lot of notable moments in here and just little things I wanted to pick out, so I figured I'd do just kind of a song-by-song breakdown. Not going to be doing a whole live reaction because honestly, you've seen my reaction to about 4 or 5 of these so far. But let's get into it. For the intro track, Foundation, obviously a very fitting name, very cinematic and emotional opening. It had such a smooth flow to it that I actually didn't notice because I listened to it, I listened to the project start to finish in the order it was listed, and I didn't notice the transition from Foundation to Heart Attack. Really smooth transition, really cohesive sounding to start off.
This love's a heart attack.
Jumping into Heart Attack, thought it was a nice, easygoing progression. The percussion becomes very apparent once you get to that like main groove. It's like very in your face. It's just very upfront and present throughout the project. Going to Beeline, I thought this one had a lot more sounds that were similar to Odesza. Not that this is like a treasure hunt for their sound, because obviously they're trying to differentiate. With some of the like vocal manipulation and just like the style of the vocal chops in there is very, very reminiscent of like some past Odesza sounds. Know Me was a nice track, not super memorable. The one thing I noticed, it had the hi-hats were very present, like skipping. They're like almost like shuffled hi-hats. Added a nice touch to it, but not my favorite track. I feel like Vaults was a little bit more of a standout track. The one thing that I noticed on this one was the percussion was a lot more, I don't know, it had this weird muted effect, but it also had like the sharp transient, like almost like a little bit of white noise on it too. That really stuck out as different and interesting to me. I really enjoyed the bridge on Vaults as well. It had that, you know, that real like percussive breakdown. Definitely one of the more attentive tracks. Moving to Tense, which was actually the origin or how they started this whole project, which is interesting to me because when I was listening to them in order, this one kind of felt out of place. You know, it was like kind of a nice, easygoing, you know, progression, and then this one just kind of stood out as like a break in the action, or just stood out as different. It was kind of weird on the second half. You have that like ominous, like weird organ. I didn't feel like that blended really well with the beginning half of it. Listening to Call Out after hearing Tense felt like the sun coming out after like a really intense storm. It was just like, oh, this is a nice, refreshing change of pace. That was definitely the most familiar song in my opinion. I know I mentioned, I think, what was it? I mentioned Beeline had some hints of Odesza, but this one really felt like you had that, you know, classic Odesza sound coming through, or at least trying to sneak through. Contact, the biggest thing on that one, the distortion's just really heavy, smacks you right in the face. I thought the chords in the beginning reminded me a bit of Late Night. But yeah, not a super notable track. Keep Moving was by far my favorite track. I did not expect to get like that dark, really intense feel from like anything Odesza was working on, whether it's a collab project or not. Kind of plays with that like almost bass house feel, but it's like slow enough to where you wouldn't be surprised if Rez was on it too. Like It had that dark, almost mid-tempo feel. I think it was a little fast to be considered mid-tempo, but really interesting, really interesting track. And to kind of end things how they started, you had Dawn with this really slow cinematic progression to kind of wrap things up. I think it kind of served as that perfect, elegant outro to the album to kind of complete what they were trying to create. Overall, to me, it seems like Bronson is more of a artistic outlet where they can experiment without having the expectations of the classic Odesza sound. Whereas Odesza's more about the entertaining, feel-good vibes. This just kind of feels like, you know, an artistic exploration. I definitely didn't hate it. Like I said in the beginning, I don't think it's my favorite. I don't think too many people out there are like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. But like, it's worth listening to. It's great atmospheric, like background music, and then you have some really interesting tracks that grab your attention. Like something to keep our eyes on as far as, you know, what they do in the future. That being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this review / breakdown, just giving my thoughts on all that. Let me know what you guys think. If it actually is your favorite, and I insulted you, let me know. I'd be happy to hear any kind of explanations or thoughts on it. But until then, stay tuned. Don't forget to leave a like, comment, subscribe, and also hit that bell notification so you get these videos immediately when they come out, and I will see you guys soon.